Hello and welcome back to another week here at Different Panels Podcast, live here on the Durgan channel. We are also endorsed by Stephen, link in the description. Go check him out. He's helping us out get subscribers. Anyway, here today, we're going to discuss a few topics that relate to us personally. Not a lot in the news this week, but we do have one thing we're going to talk about right now that just came out. Our personal reactions to the Fantastic Four teaser trailer that was just dropped about a few hours ago. So before we get into the bigger topics, let's discuss that right now. First opinions, we'll start with Carroll.
Of course. No. You have an echo, by the way.
That was quick.
The trailer looks better than I was expecting it to be. I mean, it doesn't look like they're going to do that whole, their store clerk scenario that everybody was talking about. And I'm a big fan of Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan, so I'm hoping they do good, even though I have no care for the Fantastic Four as a franchise whatsoever.
Stephen.
It's freaking Man of Steel. Clearly Man of Steel. It's even got that grey scale going on there for some reason. I don't know why. It's freaking budget. I'm Morgan Freeman doing voiceover, and I just know.
That's supposed to be Doom, if I'm not mistaken.
Meant to be who?
That's Doom's voice.
Oh, I thought he was meant to be Russian. Well, I guess he's not Russian anymore.
Andrew, opinions.
I'm gonna quote Stephen here, aggressive shrug.
That's my term.
I thought it looked incredibly meh. Like, I'm not interested. It looks better than I thought it was gonna be, but to be fair, I thought it was gonna be an absolute train wreck. So, yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to wait till a full trailer comes out, but for now, I'll still see it, but no.
I'm personally, I like it. I'm more excited about this than Ant-Man. It made me more excited than Ant-Man. It got a lot of the criticisms that it was getting sort of taken away at the moment because it's not as cheesy and campy and as they were making it seem, but I agree with Steven, it's a little bit too Man of Steel-ish where it's a little, why is Fantastic Four a dark movie? They're not supposed to be. But opinions on the effects. We saw a little bit of the Human Torch, we saw a little bit of the Thing. Anybody want to comment on how it looks?
It looks fine. You know, I can't.
It's okay.
From what we saw, the 5 seconds of superpowers going on there looked fine. I mean, I am not a fan of the grayscale they got going on, but other than that,
I'm pretty sure if it was a bad-looking comic book movie at this day and age, it would have been a really big issue.
You'd be fired.
But
I
think that's gotten to the point where if it looks bad, then there's no hope for the movie.
From what the trailer makes it seem, it doesn't even, like, they were talking about store clerks and shit, and it looks like Miles Teller, Mr. Fantastic and Kate Mara, Sue Storm, it looks like they're working in, like, a lab or some shit. Like, that's not a store clerk at all.
I'm still not a fan of the whole going into an alternate dimension thing. That's still stupid to me.
I mean, to be fair, they're but they're taking how they get their powers and just going a lot more in depth with it.
Well, I mean,
it looks like they're like, they enter like these pods and then they show that something bad happens.
I mean, Fox did a good job with integrating the X-Men powers into the real world, but with this, it's like, nope. No, don't exist in the real world. We gotta have you in an alternate dimension.
The weird part about it is the pods. If the pods are what gives them their powers, it's kind of disappointing because the whole point of that makes the X-Men cool is that it depended on what they were doing at the moment they gave them the powers, not, oh, we're in a pod. It looks better than what I expected, but I am more excited about it than Ant-Man. This made me a little bit more.
They kind of spoiled that they get off the planet already by the trailer.
It also looks like it's spoiled a major death that might be happening, but I won't say anything.
It's a trailer in this day and age, you know.
What death are you talking about?
It looks like something bad's happening to Johnny.
Yes.
They're not
gonna kill him off in the first movie.
Yes, they're gonna kill him off in the first. No, hold up. They're gonna kill off the guy that they announced before everybody asked the first actor at him. Right, that's what they're gonna do.
You'd be
For
surprised?
Sigourney Weaver.
He is
Okay.
one of the main focal points of the movie. He's one of the
Yeah,
hottest.
you kill off the main focal point because that's what makes you go in to watch it.
Yes,
It
yes,
could
because
it could happen.
and Human Torch is also, from what I've seen, when it comes to has for people's favorite character. So let's just kill him off. Because they're the WWE of movies.
What? I'm just saying, it looked like it was happening. It's a teaser. Who knows? It could be wrong. It's speculation. That's how it is.
You're a fucking idiot.
Wow.
It's opinion.
No. Well, I can say your opinion's dumb.
Right, we done with Fantastic Four? 'Cause
Final thoughts. Go,
If they make a sequel, can they call it Fantastic Five?
Steven.
Or
Carroll.
at least the fifth one?
Shigeru Miyolo.
What the hell does that mean?
You only live once, so go for it.
No, never say that again, please. Ever.
Now that that's over with, we'll get on to the main discussion here today. Because it's a very slow week, and the only stuff that has come out are like casting decisions that we've already discussed early.
We didn't discuss the Supergirl one,
Yeah, we did.
did we?
Yeah, last time
We didn't discuss who it was.
we brought up.
All right.
We did?
Yeah,
You weren't
I
here.
don't remember this.
Were
we
you?
were here.
I wasn't, but
Yeah, exactly. Anyway,
You talked about that it was going to be a crime show, but you didn't talk about who was actually casted. I watched the episode. It's,
oh,
it's the chick from Whiplash.
yeah, cool. There we go. Let's move on.
And
No.
those three younglings were cast in
We already
Apocalypse.
talked about that, and I don't think any of us care really for the X-Men stuff that were casted. It's whatever. We move on. So the topic of discussion today is we're going to discuss ourselves, really.
My name's
Let the
Steven.
audience know a little bit more about who we are and what we like when it comes to comic books in general. So, we have two brackets, both with the same questions, but about different varieties. We have one for superhero basis and one for movie superhero basis. So we'll start off with the movies. So, the question here is, what is the most underrated comic book movie in your opinion? And we'll start with Steven.
Dang it! Oh, to Hades, Adam.
Yeah, I gotta actually think of my answers here.
Oh. You asked me what I think is the most underrated. I honestly can't say because I can't say Spider-Man 2 because most people, apart from
That's everyone's favorite. So you
somebody
can't
here, likes Spider-Man 2. I can't say Dark Knight because obviously, I honestly don't think there is an underrated superhero movie. I genuinely don't think there is because I think the ones that should get the credit do get
Well,
the credit.
it's comic book in general.
A comic book.
Yeah. I have mine, and I think it's
I think you should go first because
I think I have two, but I'll go with Sin City. I think is a little bit more underrated than others.
No.
I don't think Sin City gets enough love. I think it's very stylized. The cast is great, and it's a great depiction of what the comic was.
What you call style
If I had to
potential.
if I had to pick any other movie, I'd pick Hellboy. I feel like Hellboy was popular, and then everybody forgot about it.
You know what? I'm going to disagree with Sin City because, like I said, what you call stylish, I call pretentious. Very pretentious. But I would agree with Hellboy, actually, now that I think about it. I mean, I don't think it set the world on fire. One quick montage.
But it's so... I know I think I've said it enough. I think every week I make it clear Ron Perlman's the motherfucking boss. And he's fantastic as Hellboy.
Oh, yeah.
He is Hellboy. Yeah, the Guillermo del Toro did a fantastic job, and I hope we get a third one.
It's not going to happen.
And what would be your most underrated?
I'm trying to think. Thor 2, maybe?
Oh.
Because I like that better than the first one, and a lot of people didn't like that one.
I just like Thor 2.
The first Captain America might also be another one, because that's one that a lot of people don't talk about. I can't really say X2 is underrated, because people before Days of Future Past were saying that was the best in the franchise. I don't know, this is tough. Because like Steven said, like the ones that usually get a lot of appreciation get a lot of appreciation, because you can't say, like, Tim Burton's Batman is underrated because everyone loves the fuck out of that movie. Batman Returns could be one, but I've never personally seen that.
Pick
Returns
one.
Returns? Again? Is that the one with Penguin?
That's the one
Yeah.
with Penguin and Catwoman.
Alright.
So what's the one that you're gonna go with?
It's tough. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Captain America 1.
Would you explain?
I just think it's a pretty entertaining movie, and a lot of people don't talk about it. Like, Winter Soldier is obviously a much better movie than it, like, in all areas. But I thought for, like, an origin story and how they told it, I liked it. I thought Hugo Weaving was a pretty good choice as the Red Skull. I liked the chemistry between Chris Evans and Haley Atwell a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought I liked the World War II pro-America, anti-Nazi feeling to it. That musical number was awesome. And I just found it to be a really underlooked movie. Like, people like the first Captain America, but they don't say it's one of the best of the MCU. Because that's always Iron Man or the Avengers or Guardians or Winter Soldier. That movie really doesn't get enough love, and I think it should. And Carroll is currently taking a golden shower, so we cannot hear his opinion yet.
Red Skull is somebody I would love to see more of, but
The problem is Hugo Weaving doesn't want to come back.
which is sad. Cause
He said that and Megatron are the only two roles he's never, cared
I don't
about.
blame him about Megatron.
yeah, I don't blame about Megatron.
Well, yeah,
Oh my
obviously.
God, I want to see more Red Skull because I feel like they didn't do enough with him, and Hugo Weaving is great he's a great character actor. And he was fantastic as Red Skull. I would love to see more, but if he doesn't want to come back, I'd rather him not be recasted. You know?
Also, it was really weird when I first watched, because I saw Cap 1 after I saw Winter Soldier, so it was really weird to see Bucky in that movie after being the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
But
Peggy Carter's probably one of my favorite females in the MCU, so she's like one of the highlights of that movie. So, I if I had to think, I'm probably forgetting one again, but if I had to think, probably Cap 1.
Carroll may or may not still be on his suicide mission. So, with that, we'll move on to the next one.
Well, what if he comes back? Will we just have him talk about that? Or
We'll see what happens. So, the next is going to be your most overrated.
God, I know what yours is going to be.
The comic.
I know what yours is. You don't even have to fucking say it.
We'll start with Andrew this time.
Can I, Stephen, first? I need to think.
Hold on a second. Why are you throwing this gauntlet down on me? Hard.
Well, start with
Okay, no,
Steven.
actually I do know. What am I talking about?
Alright, go, shoot.
Avengers.
Go drown.
Alright, go ahead, controversial opinion, but explain
Hey,
why.
that's my
Controversial I think Avengers is a decent movie. I don't think it's anything special. I think it's basically a generic alien invasion movie interspliced between characters bantering between each other, which admittedly is the best part of the movie. But beyond that, there's really nothing else there that you haven't seen a billion times before. Even in fucking B movies, you can see the same damn thing. The Jatoria are just there, fucking space fleas from nowhere, turning up and then disappearing again. And I just don't think it's as good as people make it out. Again, I think if it didn't have the Marvel logo slapped on, if people didn't have attachment to the characters, then they wouldn't hold it in as high regard as they do.
Now, you've made it clear that you're more of a DC guy than a Marvel. Is this branch because of it, or is this a different reasoning? Is it because you're not that much of an investment into the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
I mean,
because you don't care about the characters as much, or
I care about Iron Man. I care about Hulk. I guess it's fair to say I don't really care about any of the other characters apart from Loki, I guess. But for me, the best parts of the movie were Hulk and Iron Man and Captain America just bantering between each other, and the Hulk smashing Loki like a freaking plaything. But beyond that, it was like, you're just going through the motions here, and I don't know, maybe it's because I'm not as attached to these characters as I am to DC characters. It might be that, but I honestly just don't think it's that good. Really, I don't.
Andrew, what's your most overrated?
I still am thinking. Go.
The Dark Knight.
Fuck you.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
here we go.
Fuck you. I don't even want to hear. No.
The Dark Knight.
No. Your reasons for not liking it don't make any sense.
It is a literal remake. I'll be right.
Oh, that's all.
Well, see, the universe is telling him not to say it. I don't think it's a comic book movie, even though that's a good thing.
Did Adam say that before?
Yeah, that's what he said. He didn't like The Dark Knight because it wasn't a comic book movie.
Carroll has returned from his suicide mission, so Carroll, we're going to get your answers to the first question is, what is your most...
Yeah, you're going first.
I already did underrated.
Kick-Ass 1. Kick-Ass 1.
Can you care to explain?
I don't got the drive.
Oh my god, I will drive you to the Himalayas and throw you off.
This is why you need to be replaced.
No, because I feel that people forget about the Kick-Ass series at points. I feel that they took a chance and did something that other comic book movies don't do, and that's put it in the real world scenario, and not, let's have it where everybody has powers. No, they put it where it's the real world. People get their ass kicked, as you can see in the movie. Kick-Ass gets his ass kicked in like the first 30 minutes and almost dies. And I just think that whole series is underrated. I hope that they do a third one from what it looks like of it, or from what it looks like the third one is going to happen to the people illegally downloading the movie so much, because it was like one of the top 5 most illegally downloaded movies of that year. Number 2.
The saddest part about Kick-Ass is the publicity it got wasn't because the movie was good, but it was all about Chloe being 13 and cursing.
There's a bunch of movies where little kids curse, but
I know that was the saddest part about it.
But you know what the thing is?
Kick-Ass 2 came out and Jim Carrey denounced it. It had a lot of issues.
That pissed me off. Don't even start.
But it's also interesting because Matthew Vaughn, who directed First Class, which was great.
I really like Christopher Nolan's flaws in both movies. I feel that.
I think Kick-Ass is very underrated.
I think the second movie is underrated.
But
I love the second one a lot because of Donald Faison in it.
Overrated.
Whoa. The series, the whole first Spider-Man series.
Go ahead, explain. I know you've given answers before, but now you can go in depth even more.
I feel that Tobey Maguire is a terrible Spider-Man. You can even say who's a good Peter Parker. I don't think.
Are you just gonna blame it on Tobey being Spider-Man? All right, Anchor.
I didn't like
bad boy here.
I didn't like I know a lot of people say that. I could not stand Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst together at all. I didn't feel like they had any chemistry together.
Oh, that's because they didn't.
At all.
Literally.
I mean, I like William Dafoe as the Goblin.
James Franco was great as Harry.
Yeah, I like those parts.
James Franco is great in general.
I feel that we all know the whole mishap of Spider-Man 3 where they try to introduce a lot of characters and I feel that Amazing Spider-Man 2 did that a lot better than they did in number 3. And
I should have said that for underrated.
I think Sam Raimi's really good as a director. He made Spider-Man look like it's a thing. Like I get where you're getting at, and yeah, there are some things wrong with it. Spider-Man 3 is fucking atrocious. But I think the first one is great.
I don't hate it as much as everyone does.
You're like the biggest fanboy ever.
Emo Spider-Man walking and dancing down the street, and then in the bar. Forget it.
I'm not a fan of Spider-Man, but I don't think the movie is as bad as people make it out to be.
The best part of that movie is Sandman.
I also, I said before, I hate how much Tobey Maguire cried. I feel like he was a pansy.
Is there a worst comic book movie category?
We'll get to that.
Okay, because I have my answer.
Why did you just spoil it?
Overrated?
So most overrated.
Fuck. I don't know.
For me, overrated. So
yeah, me,
Yeah, you didn't go yet. Go ahead.
I don't know if this counts as overrated, but Man of Steel. Fuck that movie.
That's not
Alright.
overrated at all.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of people do.
It's got, I think Man of Steel has more of.
I think WCW 2000 is overrated.
A lot of people were like, "Oh,
It does have a mixed fan.
Plus,
base.
it's half of a Nolan movie, and with Nolan movies, you always have everyone that says they're the greatest thing ever. Half the time, I can kind of see it, but I didn't like Man of Steel at all. I just thought it was generic, bland. It wasn't Superman. Superman did things that Superman doesn't do, and you can say, well, they're going for a different take on it. It's like, that's like taking away one of the character's main traits and saying, fuck that, I'll kill if I want to. That's like Batman just started killing people or something.
Didn't he only kill Zod?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he snapped his fucking neck
When he didn't have
because
any
he was
choice.
trying to kill, like, 2 people he didn't even know. Like,
So,
I mean, here's the thing. If Zod was shooting at Lois Lane or something, I would have been like, okay, I can kind of see this. It's just 2 random civilians. He's like, no, fuck it.
Makes him more Superman than anything, surely, that he's willing to sacrifice his morals to save people he doesn't even know.
Yeah,
now, I'm not
but then
defending the movie, but...
Now he's like crying about it, like, no, why'd I do this? And then like 3 minutes later, he's like, did I kill someone? I don't know. It doesn't matter to me anymore. I don't like that movie.
It's better than Superman Returns.
It's better than Superman 4. But this is like saying my dog shit is better than like random horse manure I found on the street. No.
The Dark Knight.
I'm gonna kick you from the Skype call.
Batman Begins is fantastic.
Worst movie of the series.
Dark Knight Rises is a pile of shit. So sadly, just like the Fantastic Four, we got sucked into a different dimension for a few seconds, but we're back now. But if there's like a weird editing thing, well, stuff happens, and I blame our Suicide Mission correspondent Andrew for that.
He's been Rick flagging too much.
Yeah, Rick flagging too much.
Oh, that sounds hot.
So, like I was saying, Dark Knight Rises is a pile of shit. Then you have The Dark Knight, which is a carbon copy of the movie.
Hold on.
Christopher Nolan has even stated that he not only took that he took crew members from Michael Mann's Heat, but he deliberately tried to make Batman Heat. And I don't know if any of you have ever seen Heat.
I have not.
No, I haven't, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Andrew's one of the only people I've ever met that likes The Dark Knight Rises.
It's
It's
very
got like a
interesting
97 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh.
Clearly,
Well, not everything on Rotten Tomatoes is yay. Because here's like I said, the problem with The Dark Knight is it has too many plot holes, and the reason it has too many plot holes is because Nolan tried making a superhero comic book movie in the real world, and it just didn't work. Now, am I blaming everybody that worked on this movie? No. Heath Ledger was phenomenal as the Joker, and I will not take that away from him. Granted, he's not my favorite, but God, he deserves it. Christian Bale is... Okay, besides the voice, I don't think he's a great Bruce Wayne. He's not a terrible Batman. Morgan Freeman's not bad in this movie. Maggie Gyllenhaal is not terrible. She's better than fucking
Is she Jake Gyllenhaal's sister or something?
No,
okay. She's better than fucking Katie Holmes. Aaron Eckhart is forced into that movie. I don't know why Two-Face is in this movie.
I think
not bad.
I don't think
Daredevil
Dent should have
is fantastic
transformed
as
in
well.
Dark Knight. I think Dent should have waited a movie.
The movie has flaws. It has big issues, and people praise it like it's the next coming of fucking Christ, and it's just not. And I'm going to go back to what Steven says about Marvel and the Avengers. If you didn't slap on the Batman logo, it wouldn't have the praise it's getting.
Dark Knight Rises.
What?
Dark Knight Rises. It has the Batman logo and people shit on that.
Yeah, but the Dark Knight has issues too. It might have as many issues as the Dark Knight Rises. The only difference is Dark Knight Rises is about another half hour, 45 minutes longer than the Dark Knight.
I've seen the movie a few times, like 6 times. I haven't found a major issue. It's my favorite movie of all time.
I want to bring up the opening. I always bring this up in conversations outside here. The bus crashes into the bank, right? Smoke bomb goes off, everything happens, right? And the bus pulls out, right? And the bus keeps driving. But after it drives off, there are like 2 other buses behind it. Nobody got out of the bus to check to make sure everybody was okay. everybody just goes on with their day like whatever. If it's supposed to be the real world, if that's what Nolan's going for, yeah, people would actually get out to make sure everything was okay. There would be fire trucks coming. Everything's just alright. How did Joker have time to wiretap both of ships while he was sitting in just nothing? Lucius Fox is okay with building an armored tank car that kills people, but oh shit, he can't tap the phone. Now I gotta shut everything down. How is it, okay, when the bomb goes off in the guy's stomach when Joker's in the jail cell, everybody else gets blown up and he's sitting there like, I didn't even get touched. What is he, fucking Michael Myers? Is he immortal? You cannot if you're trying to make a comic book movie based in the real world, look at what Kick-Ass did, because it did it right. It just doesn't work. There are too many plot holes. It doesn't deserve the credit it's getting, and I might be fan-raging here, but I mean it. The Dark Knight is the biggest pretentious piece of monkey bullshit I've ever seen, and Nolan is not a good director.
Now, is this because you don't like Nolan, or is this...
No, because I like Memento, I like Insomnia, I like The Prestige, and I like Batman Begins.
Well, I don't think Tim Burton's Batman is as good as you say it is.
I hear you.
I think that's overrated, but I've only seen it like once, so I can't really judge it that much.
Now that I got that off my chest,
next category.
Anybody want to comment?
Fuck yourself.
Besides Andrew? Would a legitimate comeback?
See, I agree to a certain extent that the movie does have logistical problems that, people overlook. But at the end of the day, any piece of fiction will have those kind of problems. And you can say there's a lot in The Dark Knight, and I haven't seen it in a while, so I'm not sure if I'd agree or not. But
I'll say this, it's the reason comic book movies have gotten more respect over the years than they did before.
It's the reason why every comic book movie besides the Marvel are all dark and gloomy and dull and boring and not
Well,
fun.
for the most part, though that wasn't really an issue until Man of Steel.
Yeah, but guess what happened? Who helped Zack Snyder on Man of Steel? Nolan.
Look, why
does every movie that all of Warner Brothers is doing now is, Dark Knight was great because it was more realistic and dark and gloomy, so we're going to copy that
They've
one.
made 2 movies since The Dark Knight. Green Lantern, which was the antithesis of what you're saying, and Man of Steel, which was like what you're saying. So that doesn't really follow.
Well, Green Lantern they've already discredited, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, because it wasn't good.
Yeah, well, there's a different issue with that all on its own. So,
Carroll?
Carroll?
What?
Any opinions on that?
I zoned out because I get sick and tired of hearing your voice.
Alright, we're gonna move on then. So, we're gonna stay under the category of movies, and now we're gonna go into our least favorite. Now, this isn't like over and underrated. This is the movie that you detest the most.
I got mine.
Comic book variation of it. So, we'll start with Andrew.
X-Men Origins.
Oh, alright.
Fuck that movie. I will tell you this, because I got into the X-Men franchise earlier this year because I never saw any of the movies beforehand, and I wanted to watch Days of Future Past. First 2 X-Men movies I loved to death. Third one, I didn't hate as much as everyone says it is, but I didn't like it. The fourth one, though. Ugh. My God, I hate that movie so much.
I love Steve.
Just, Deadpool, no. Will.I.am, no. Wolverine's love interest dying and then coming back and being a villain at the end. No.
It's a swell.
William Stryker in that movie. No.
I thought Liev Schreiber was good as Sabretooth.
Yeah, but everything about that movie, except those 2 old guys. Those old guys, those were cool, and then they fucking blew up, and then. And Hugh Jackman's Hugh Jackman, so everything he's in is automatically great except this movie. Just I don't like.
This is great. Australia's not good.
Excuse me, Australia's one of the best countries on the planet. Thank you.
The movie's not good.
Okay.
I don't like. I don't like Origins at all because it's like, yeah, you're doing good, and then Origins. Oh God.
So we'll go with Stephen.
See, I've only seen about 10 minutes of Origins, and that was Baraka. So...
Baraka?
So you're going to agree with Andrew?
No.
Baraka.
Fine, whatever.
Barack
Obama as Deadpool, yes. So I would count that if Dark Knight Rises wasn't still fresh in my mind.
Yes, Dark Knight Rises is bad.
Look, it's I have the same problems with that as Adam has with Dark Knight, just tenfold. Like, it takes basically all the problems that Dark Knight might have had and ramped it up to 11. It's like, it feels like Nolan doesn't give a shit anymore. Or he cares too much about the imagery of what's going on.
Thank you.
And it trying to be realistic, quote unquote, or whatever. Instead of actually writing a decent movie that makes sense. Because it doesn't at all. And I could go on like a 10-minute rant, but I'm gonna save it for another time, and I'm gonna, hand over to Carol.
So Carol, what is your least favorite comic book movie?
Watchmen.
Ooh.
I don't think it's that bad, but explain.
No, because Watchmen was the first comic book I ever actually read. I sat down and read, and I fell in love with it, and I was hyped for the movie, and then I cried.
For all the wrong reasons.
What right reason? Well, besides...
Did you ask to marry it and then it said no?
Okay, alright. Rorschach was awesome in that movie.
Yeah.
The comedian was awesome in that movie. I think people shit on Watchmen, they mostly shit on the ending. Is that your reason as well, or is the whole movie entirely, minus the casting, terrible to you?
What's wrong with the ending?
It doesn't play along with the comic book.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the difference?
A lot.
What?
Okay, we'll explain after this, because it's
Okay.
too much to talk about.
If you just go on, I just don't want to get angry about it.
Okay, my least favorite. It's not Batman and Robin. I actually think Batman and Robin is entertaining if you have a bunch of friends.
So do I. It's not a good movie,
I
but
forgot about that one.
It's not a good movie, but
It's not necessary to yell it like that.
I actually watch Batman and Robin and be like, this is so bad, but it's funny bad. Like, it's bad good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
I
say
agree.
Rises
What's
too.
the worst comic book movie I've ever watched? Catwoman.
Oh.
I've never seen that, so I can't.
It's terrible. It is atrocious. There is a reason why DC has made it clear that movie is not associated at all with anything.
I saw that.
It is literal cancer.
What are you talking about? It's the first movie in the DC Cinematic Universe.
It is cinematic cancer. It is shot bad. It looks bad. The acting is bad. I think Halle Berry is an overrated actress to begin with.
Whoa.
I thought she's fine as Storm. I don't get why she doesn't
Everything
look
about
like
it
Catwoman.
is terrible. I don't know if there's much to explain with Catwoman because I think it's a general consensus that it is a terrible, not just a terrible comic book movie, but a terrible movie.
Oh, and I'll make it clear, I didn't mind Gambit in Origins. I don't think it was that bad of a representation of the character, but I thought the movie is just garbage.
So, now that the movie category is over, we're going to move on to the superhero category.
Wait, we didn't say favorite.
Ah, wow.
Didn't we?
Thank you.
We're just gonna be all negative and then
I'm
be
a
like,
little-
nope, no positive.
I'm a little off today. So, favorite
Right.
comic book movie of all time. We'll start, Stephen.
You're gonna go in, but I want to paraphrase this. Last time I saw this movie was when it came out in the cinema. Okay, I'm just gonna say it because it's not a surprise. Dark Knight. The last time I saw that was in 2008. And before you go, Adam, I tried to watch it again when it was on TV one time, and it was a scene where the Joker has them, like he interrupts the ball or party or whatever the frick it was. And
Yeah.
you know where the camera's spinning around?
Yeah.
And I was doing something at the time, so I wasn't going to watch it all anyway, but I saw that scene, I was like, this isn't very good. But I don't know if I watched it back, I don't know whether I'd change my opinion and say, yeah, that's not my favorite anymore, but for now,
Every comic book movie you've ever seen.
yeah, out of everyone.
Alright, cool.
Off the top of my head.
Hey, listen, I have nothing against people liking what they like.
Yes.
Carol, favorite comic book movie of all time. Carol has disappeared again on a suicide mission.
I'm thinking, give me
Andrew.
Alright. I have one, but I'm gonna say something else to avoid repetition. Dark Knight is my favorite, but I'm gonna say Spider-Man 2.
Alright.
One, Adam.
Because
Very.
I probably have seen that movie more than any superhero movie I've ever watched. I love it to death. I love the villain. I love Doc Ock to death in that movie. I think it's the best Spider-Man movie we've ever seen. I think it's the only truly, perfect Spider-Man movie we've ever seen. And I really, really enjoyed it. It's probably in my top 5 or 10 favorite movies of all time. But yeah, Dark Knight would be, but to avoid repetition.
But you just repeated yourself.
Shush.
Carol.
You go first. I need to still think.
Alright.
You already know what he's going to say.
I'm gonna go with 1989 Batman.
Of course.
Tim Burton's Batman. It is my top 5 favorite movies of all time.
Guy that can't draw anymore.
You know,
the guys got pulled after 3 weeks.
It doesn't have to do with Tim Burton. It is Nicholson Joker, classic. People will always remember Jack Nicholson's Joker as much as they remember Heath Ledger's Joker. Michael Keaton, the best on-screen Batman.
Probably.
People had so much doubt in this guy. So much doubt to the point where there were people boycotting Warner Brothers because of Michael Keaton's casting. And then he does the movie, and everybody's like, shit, we're wrong, egg on our faces.
Sounds familiar.
Ew.
He did, okay, he's got everything Bruce Wayne is down pat. He's mysterious. He doesn't talk to many people. When he does, it's only because he has no other choice. He's very seclusive. He stays to himself. He only talks when he needs to. It's great. And he can go crazy, as we saw with the Let's Get Nuts scene with the fire poker. Great. And then when he's Batman, he is Batman. You can see that he's Batman. The Gotham looks so good. It looked like it was a live-action adaptation of what Gotham would be from the comic books. Yeah, it has some flaws. Every movie has flaws. But it's so well directed. It makes... I can't really praise it as much as I want to because I'll go on for hours about it. It's perfect when it comes to a comic book movie. Maybe not perfect movie-wise, but it is the standard bearer for what every Batman movie would come out.
Seth Rollins?
So,
It's absolutely, in my opinion, the best comic movie ever made.
Alright, Carallo.
So we're down to Carol.
Daredevil.
Ew.
Wait, that's serious?
no, he's not being serious.
Oh. If he had a good argument, I'd be whatever. Cool.
No,
There is no
for
good
me,
argument. There's no...
Ben Affleck,
I thought
First-
Colin Farrell was okay as Bullseye.
For me, honestly, it might sound weird, but I would just say First Class.
Explain.
I don't know. When I first saw that, I really liked it, and I like that casting a lot better than the original casting. I think James McAvoy's an amazing Professor X. I think Fassbender's an outstanding Magneto.
Mm-hmm.
I had no problem with any of the casting. I love the guy who plays Beast Boy.
Beast Boy?
Beast Boy?
Not Beast Boy. I can't know something. I mean,
Azrael?
you know,
You mean
Azrael.
Beast?
Yeah, Beast.
Just Beast.
Yeah, I said Beast Boy for the fact that he's a boy in the movie. My only problem is that, in this next movie, they just kill off half of the team. I'm like, wow, that's sad. Kevin Bacon was amazing in it.
That's Kevin Bacon.
Fuck you.
I'm hungry.
It's pretty great.
Your mom's
So-
pretty in bed.
Now we'll move on to the superhero category. So we'll go in the same order. So we're going to start with who is the most underrated comic book character.
God.
ever.
Oh God, I'm taking my vacation day.
I know who I'm going to pick.
We'll start with Steve then.
This may sound generic, I don't know, but I'm going to pick Aquaman.
Aquaman.
Aquaman, you know.
Go ahead, explain, because there are people out there who love Aquaman.
I
I
never
am one
heard
of
of
those people.
Aquaman. Never heard of Aquaman.
Aquaman. But I think based solely on the fact that for some reason people still like to shit on him because of a shitty cartoon from 1960. That in of itself should warrant his place, well, me placing him here. But I think
He likes fish.
he likes freaking killing people with fish. He gets a swordfish stab you. But
There are things that Aquaman has that people don't realize.
he has
Yeah, he's being played by the Royal Rumble winner.
yeah, but Roman Reigns is stunt double. But I mean, people like say, oh, he's useless, he only talking fish. Yeah, because he doesn't have super strength, because he can swim really fast. He can jump really high. He's also has the ability to give people aneurysms because fudging powers. I do think that was a stupid attempt to like, oh, Aquaman has powers. But, you know, he especially when the character itself, especially when you know, contrast it with his role as King of Atlantis, and you bring up the fact that he's half human and his problems with inheritance against his brother and everything like that. And I think people ignore the fact that he has a lot going for him other than just talking to fish. And people, for some reason, just have this idea of him swimming around in the ocean and getting caught in frickin' can six-pack things. Frickin' Family Guy, I hate you. You know, it just annoys me because it's such an outdated opinion. Yeah.
Hey, at least you tried defending it, which is.
See, I can't think of a lot.
They gave him like a big beard and long hair and a hook arm to make him badass. That didn't work out either.
Because people won't. They could write the best comic ever, make him the most badass character in existence since freaking Achilles, you know. But that's nothing.
But what about the greatest video game of all time?
Injustice. See, he was great in Injustice as well.
Aquaman: Battle for Atlantis.
I will stab you in your artery until you bleed. Eternally.
So, Andrew, who are you picking for most underrated?
Black Cat.
Explain.
She has balance.
I don't know. I've always liked the character. When that one Spider-Man show in the 90s was airing, she was probably my favorite character on the show. And I just think she's underappreciated. And when they kind of teased that might be happening in Amazing Spider-Man 2, I was like, sweet, I want to see this. And even if they do reboot the series, I want to see it happen finally.
So you want to see Catwoman?
Well, you know, the better version of the character.
Oh, okay.
What's interesting is that she was originally casted as Black Cat.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway was going to be Black Cat.
Yeah, so it's interesting. She was casted as the both doppelganger side. Carol.
The new Lobo.
I
didn't hear any of that.
The new Lobo.
Oh God.
God. You were
who's your real pick?
Popo.
Lobo in general.
No. Jason Todd.
Oh,
Red Hood.
Should have guessed that.
Fuck you.
Go ahead.
So you can't guess me. They're restrained for me.
Explain why.
I feel that he gets a lot of shit, you know, from fans about the whole he wasn't Robin. You know, they can kiss my ass. I'm falling asleep over here because you're boring me, Adam. But anyway, I feel that he needs to be exposed more in movies or comics, or not comics, but just other media in general, because I feel like it's a good character and it's a good taste on it for the fact that, you know, Bruce Wayne basically took his life from him. Fuck you, nigga. Fuck like me.
It's a little
simplistic there.
I'm tired. I'm not joking. Adam's putting me to sleep over here.
Wow, really.
I'm not joking either.
That's kind of harsh.
Why are you here?
Because Steven wants me here.
I don't think he does.
Hey, don't bring me into this. I was just defending Aquaman's dignity.
So, I'm going to pick somebody that I think Steven might agree with and might have forgotten himself. I'm going to pick the Huntress.
Damn it, I forgot about
Craven.
You mean the girl that on Arrow, you know,
no,
go about killing
that is not Huntress.
That is not Huntress. That is
some horror.
That is blasphemy. Huntress is a character that has gone through two different variations in her life. She was Catwoman in Batman's daughter, which was a terrible Huntress. God, it's bad. And then when Helena took over, which was the she does not. She always is considered that other Batgirl that's in the Batman universe. I feel like her backstory, her character, everything she's done with the Birds of Prey, she just doesn't get enough appreciation. And then as soon as they had said, "Oh, Huntress is going to be in the Arrow show," I was like, "Yes, finally, let's have some kind of screen time, because the only time we'd ever seen her before was with the Justice League TV show and Brave and the Bold, which I thought were great depictions of the character. I was like, cool, this is great, she's finally getting exposure. But she didn't get enough exposure. So then Arrow casts this chick, don't even know what the actress's name is, and the fuck did they do wrong?
Everything.
Everything. She had a comic book that was supposed to be part of the New 52, but it didn't sell well enough because nobody, there is easy ways to market Huntress, but they just don't for some reason. It's like ever since Birds of Prey pretty much ended after the New 52 restarted, and she wasn't part of it. She's part of the New World's Finest with Power Girl and like the second in Earth 2.
Isn't that Catwoman, Batman's daughter?
It's New 52. It's extremely confusing.
Ah, I see.
Fuck New 52. But, it's like, why is it so hard to make this character appealing when it's extremely, like, as soon as you see it, you can see that she's appealing. It's really, she's got a cool design, the crossbow thing. And I think she has a more badass persona than Batgirl does, even though I like Batgirl too. I just think she's sort of like Jason Todd on the same half where you're just secondary to Batgirl. Where Jason Todd is, you're just secondary to Robin.
Whoa. You mean secondary, thirdary, fourthary, depending on...
Yeah, but it's like, I just feel like Huntress doesn't get enough love, and she deserves it because the character is always well written.
Except
I don't know why it's hard for them to make the character likable or marketable. I don't get it. If they have to bring Birds of Prey back and put her in it to make it happen, then I guess go ahead, but it'd be cool if she was able to do something on her own.
You know, I'd be fine with a Birds of Prey TV show just to get Huntress. As long as they had nothing to do.
Well, they did that once. I forgot to bring that up. That didn't work out either.
We don't talk about that.
It's like every time they have a chance to make Huntress do something, it's like, oh, well, we fucked up. But the cartoons were great. But, so we'll move over to the second half of that. Most overrated comic book character.
I think everyone's going to have the same answer here.
Oh, I got a different one.
I had an answer, I've completely forgot, so can you ask me last, please?
Andrew.
Superman.
All right. I explained, but it might, I mean, it's simple, but explain.
He's white bread. Like, literally, you look at every single superhero,
you got a lot
and
of
there's at least one distinct thing about them that makes them stand out from the rest. Superman is just invincible, and
he's Superman though.
No,
I
don't like that. It might be because I've grown up in the Batman age and the Wolverine age and the Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man age, but Superman just doesn't appeal to me. I've never gotten the appeal.
To be honest,
I don't find him entertaining. I find it corny. And when they tried to change that in Man of Steel, it didn't fucking work because that's just not his character, and they can't make that work. I don't like him. I don't like him.
I will agree, he hasn't really done very well when it comes to comic book sales as of late. It does seem like people aren't moving away from Superman. But there's still a huge chunk of people that love Superman. But, Steven, you said you disagreed.
I do disagree with it.
Explain.
Okay. Well, when you have so many characters becoming darker and edgier, because that's what's happening now, well, since the 90s, I suppose, or 80s. But, Superman is still, because even freaking, not Captain Marvel, Shazam has become slightly darker and edgier because of reasons. Well, you still have Superman there as the bastion of, you know, what a superhero used to be. He used to be somebody that did what was right just because it was the right thing to do and not because they had Freudian issues or whatever. He is this cornerstone of the DC universe because he is the best human despite not being human. That's his thing.
Well, he clearly isn't anymore if they feel the need to put Batman in a Superman movie because they don't think he can sell well at the box office.
Way to steal what I've been saying for 6 months now, but you know.
You've been saying that for DC in general, not just for Superman.
No.
Who are you picking as your overrated?
I thought of this earlier. It's completely gone out of my head. So again, if you could ask
Carol. Back to you then. Okay. Carol.
Now, before I answer this, I need to ask one question.
Yes.
is there going to be a least favorite
Yes,
character?
there's a least favorite as
Okay,
well.
so okay.
Can use both if you want to, if that's the case.
Overrated?
Like, if you're overrated is also your least favorite.
No, I have a tie for least favorite, but overrated, Spider-Man.
Alright.
Die.
Don't even say that's not true. Even Adam's been saying it. Spider-Man's been overrated for the past 2 weeks. Or not weeks, but it's just that. I mean, I find the appeal that he's a wisecracking hero and he's a kid and a teenager, but I never found the appeal that made him like one of the biggest superheroes ever back in the early 2000s.
Well, it's because that's all Marvel really had at the moment. Before the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Spider-Man was their franchise, and they decided, hey, we're going to shove him down everybody's throats, and that's what they did.
Well, they were doing it in the 90s as well with...
Yeah, with the TV show and everything.
But the TV show was great.
And the
Yeah, it
comics.
was. I could actually, if you try and watch
And that's what I'm saying is that he's shoved down the throats of Marvel all the time, of anything Marvel. So over a period, he gets overbearing.
He is the.
Well, I mean, you could say the same thing for Wolverine then.
But Wolverine, when's the last time Wolverine had his own separate thing besides a movie?
Wolverine 2.
Yeah, Spider-Man has a new TV show every 5 years.
We mentioned Wolverine. That's my choice for most.
He's their most popular character though. Like, you gotta realize, that's like saying, oh, Disney
He's their most popular, yet he, from what their logic is, can't draw. That logic there, Andrew?
Sadly, they had to add a bunch of characters to make this giant Spider-Verse type deal in the comics so that people would actually start buying it. And sadly, Spider-Gwen became
I would say
more
the most...
popular, and now she's getting a book, and no one cares about Peter.
I would say their most popular is Wolverine.
Well, he's my most overrated.
But yeah, I would say as of right now, he's their most popular superhero.
I think Wolverine is overrated.
Is Spider-Verse?
I don't understand.
I've been wanting to check that out.
What?
Is Spider-Verse good? I've been wanting to check that out.
It's expensive, put it that way. Wolverine, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Hugh Jackman.
What?
Jackman.
What about him?
He has cancer.
He's the best.
Hugh Jackman gets all buffed up and talks with a cigar in his mouth, and we're all just supposed to be like, oh, he's so dreamy.
He is dreamy.
I honestly don't get why people obsess over Wolverine.
Jackman's got the greatest portrayal of a comic book character of all time.
Because he's edgy? Is it
I would say
flaws?
Iron Man. I'll say Robert Downey Jr.
Well, we already had this discussion.
Tied for the greatest.
You want to talk about Spider-Man being shoved down people's throats? Wolverine is as much being shoved down our throats as well.
That is a good... I mean, the reason he was in so big of a role in Days of Future Past because he's the star.
They decided in Days of Future Past that instead of making it where Shadowcat meets Wolverine and they team up, it was just going to be Wolverine.
I had to make him look strong.
That wouldn't have worked.
But that's how they...
You gotta be honest. If it's a movie and you would have had Kitty Pryde, who was barely in the first 3 movies, be the main character, it wouldn't have worked.
They could have done it, but...
They could have. But for some reason, they're like, well, it's got to just be Wolverine.
Wolverine's their most popular character.
I don't understand why people like this so much.
Within their universe.
What makes him so much... What makes him interesting? What about him makes people say, that's amazing? I don't know. Is it because everybody's... So much fucking... Captain America's badass, but, oh, no shit, no, Wolverine goes over. I don't understand why
he goes over in the match?
Jackman. That's why.
If this is your only comeback, then that is a terrible character because that means the comic book can't even make him interesting.
Well,
if
the movie's making so like he doesn't know much about his past.
Listen to your comeback. Hugh Jackman. So you're just saying the actor's good pretty much, not the character.
Character's good too.
Because of Hugh Jackman.
No, because for the first 3-4 movies of the franchise, he didn't know who he was.
Jackman as your answer because then you're going against what you're saying, so you're contradicting yourself. The reason behind people liking him is because of Hugh Jackman. Take Hugh Jackman out, nobody will give a shit.
That's not true.
That is not true.
Take Hugh Jackman out of that, right? Put somebody else in, no one will give a shit.
That's because he wasn't popular before the movie.
they wrote Wolverine really good in the movies in my mind, and he's been the most popular X-Men character since, as far as I can remember, the TV show back in the 90s.
To be fair, I think the reason he's the most popular is, I don't know what stereotype this is, but I guess it's the badass, I don't give a fuck character that's always popular in anything that happens.
It's the same thing, but nobody cares about Lobo.
Well, the thing is, Lobo was popular until they fucked him up.
Lobo's got a cult following.
Plus, X-Men.
Yeah, he was popular until they made him a fucking look like Nightcrawler with the.
Well, no. I mean, before that, yeah, he was popular, but he's the exact same thing as Wolverine. The only difference.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't use him in the same capacity, though. Wolverine is always front and center, so more people are going to know about him, more people are going to like him.
There are other characters in the X-Men universe that deserve to be more of the forefront. Cyclops was the original leader, then all of a sudden the movies came out, and guess what happened? Cyclops was the leader, then the movies came out.
Cyclops is another case of Superman. He's fucking white bread. I like him, but he's white bread.
I disagree with it.
You should really stop throwing that term around.
Don't worry, he's white.
You got a lot of room to talk, Mr. I'm so white that I can afford the entire Buffalo Bills organization.
I do believe we have been on this topic for a while.
Okay, we'll move on. Now it's our least favorite.
Hey, I didn't even...
Let me go.
Steven, you can say it. Everything goes
You're
so
British.
and angry, so go Steven. Most overrated.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
You.
Go ahead.
Sexist.
Yeah, I'm sexist. No,
well, there goes our non-existent female base.
I'm sorry, come back, please. But in the lost episode, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, we were discussing this to a certain extent, and I feel that a lot of reason why people always harp on about Wonder Woman and have her as one of the main superheroes is not because of anything about the character, but because she is, the figurehead for feminism in comics. Because you ask random Joe who says, "Yeah, I like Wonder Woman." Oh, random random Joanne, then. Why they like Wonder Woman? They'll say, "Oh, because she's kick-ass woman," or something along those lines, or she's feminist, or whatever. Like, okay, what do you know about the character? And they'll be like,
if you want a kick-ass woman character,
also,
go look at Hit Girl.
If there's something about Wonder Woman, okay, cool, she's kick-ass and stuff, whatever. There is nothing about her that
she's basically female Superman, but I think that, honestly... let me speak.
Well, to be fair, you interrupted
he's the host. He lets me speak first, though. I think Hit Girl's a better representation of what female characters should be, because she doesn't say, "Oh, I'm a girl, treat me right." She just does whatever she wants, and is basically a female Wolverine to an extent.
Like I said, I think the thing about Wonder Woman that doesn't always click when it comes to people like, oh, she's the symbol of feminism and stuff. There's nothing about her that any woman can connect with. She's a princess.
She's an Amazon.
She's sometimes made out of clay.
She's sometimes immortal. She's got superpowers and super strength. What about her do women connect with? I'm going to go back to what I said before. Huntress, Batgirl, Black Canary.
She wants Batman's dick.
Hit Girl. What else can I say here? All of the people I just said, right? All of them. Any woman can connect with. Why? Because they're real. They're not molded out of clay. They're not Amazons. They're not goddesses and princesses. They're just people.
The silliest thing
they don't get the praise that they deserve because for some reason Wonder Woman is, like we said, the female Superman. And I agree. I agree with you 100%.
The silliest thing about Wonder Woman, and then we can move on, because unless somebody else has something to say, is that her creator originally created her to be a bondage symbol. Because he had a bondage fetish. Okay. That has nothing to do with feminism. That's just somebody living out their preferences. And then people took the character and was like, yeah, feminism. Is like, no, no. But she's so overrated.
Alright, so, we'll move on to our least favorite of all time. We'll start with Carroll.
It's a tie. Thor and Hulk.
Alright, go ahead, explain.
It's not really that there's something wrong, it's just that they're like the two people I've really never had any interest about. I had never seen a Thor movie. I never have a plan to see a Thor movie, and I've only seen the 2003 Hulk movie, and ever since then I have never watched another one. I just don't find the appeal in them.
Mm-hmm.
It might be that I haven't read a lot of their stuff, but I just don't find the appeal in the characters. It's Chris Hemsworth who plays him, right? Thor?
Chris Hemsworth plays Thor.
I've seen, like, trailers of it, and he doesn't look anything interesting to me. He just looks like he's monotone, fucking pretty boy.
I have no idea where you get monotone from, because he's
I'm going to agree with Carroll on Thor. I've never... Okay, my one biggest issue with Thor is that
he's not a comic book character.
Yeah. He's a god. He's a Greek, Norse god. Which is lazy writing on Marvel's part.
That's why it's lazy.
Because they had to take something from other mythology. And also, I just don't find him appealing. He's boring, I think. I've never seen the movies. I'm not going to say Chris Hemsworth isn't, you know...
Wait, hold on. You questioned me because I said Thor 2 was good, but you've never seen it.
Am I the only one who's seen 4 2?
No. Steven questioned you.
Yeah, I guess I questioned you.
I don't say anything. I haven't seen... I just don't see the appeal in Thor. I don't get it. He just comes off really bland and boring and not entertaining. Nothing. I've never read anything with him in it that made me say, yeah, cool, Thor's a badass. It's just, you have a hammer and some lightning. You're Shazam with a hammer.
Shazam!
But, so we'll, Steve and Andrew, whoever wants to go first.
I don't have a least fan. I don't know.
Really?
I mean, if we're gonna go by who's never appealed to me, then
it's your least favorite. Like, who's the character that you just say, nah, fuck it?
I don't know. If we're going by not appealing, then I'd say most of the DC characters. Because the reason why I've never really gotten into DC and I'm mainly a Marvel guy is because their characters just haven't interested me. But I don't really want to say that because I think that's unfair. Because it's more just of less of a knowledge than actually hating them.
Alright, fair enough. Steven.
Well, I couldn't think of anything until Andrew just said that, but then I'll go the other way. I'll say most of the Marvel characters.
Alright.
I don't know what it is about them. I can't get into them. Like, I can watch a cartoon and enjoy the characters at that moment, but then I won't go away from it and say, yeah, I want to see more Falcon, or I want to see more Scarlet Witch. What? Black Widow. Why do I always get them confused?
Well, Scarlet Witch is still Marvel.
I know, but I wasn't really thinking about it. I always call them, whatever. Point is, I can't attach myself to those characters for some reason. The only reason I like Iron Man is because of Downey. The only reason I like Hulk is because he can make funny clips sometimes in between being boring smash guy. And that's basically it. So, yeah.
Alright. So we'll move on to our favorite of all time. Who is the one character that you connect with the most out of any comic book character you've ever read, watched, seen, heard of, etc.?
I don't know if you say who I think you're going to say.
We'll start with Andrew.
Venom.
Explain.
He's my favorite villain of all time. Every single time they do a Venom adaptation, I always look forward to it. I loved it in the cartoon. It was mainly probably the reason why I don't hate Spider-Man 3 as much as everyone else is because they actually did the symbiote storyline. Mm-hmm. It's probably my favorite storyline in comics. And I love the character to death. It's probably my favorite comic book character of all time. Spider-Man would be the only one that comes close, but mainly because I've grown up with Spider-Man, and he's always been my superhero, and I've just always liked the stuff with Venom more than anything else, and that's why I'm actually really upset that this Venom movie probably won't happen, because I've been waiting for it forever, and I'm probably never going to see it.
Alright, cool. Carroll.
Still thinking on a least favorite, though.
You should know this by now. Why even ask me?
You just have to answer.
It's, Damian Wayne.
Wait, what?
No.
Wait,
no.
what?
No. It's the Flash.
No, it's not, dang it.
Flash.
Yes, because you're not a Flash Mark when we're not talking on this podcast, you know.
What you saying, nigga?
Oh my god.
You talking shit over there, huh?
I thought you were gonna say Rorschach.
It's a tie between them, honestly.
Alright, go ahead, explain.
I mean,
The field
I always...
Mine's a tie between Venom and
What
Spider-Man.
the...
Sorry, Rose. You continue.
My thing with Rorschach that I love so much is that he is based... You want to speak, Steven? You
Oh,
want
sorry.
to speak?
Oh, just
Oh wait, no! I forgot who my
Oh
favorite
my god,
was.
I'm done.
I
Goodbye.
forgot who it was.
Goodbye. I'm done. Goodbye.
I forgot.
Carol, go. No, it's
No,
Carol's
no,
turn.
no,
It's Carol's turn.
Oh,
Go,
fucking
Carol.
thought.
Explain why Rorschach and Flash.
With Rorschach, I just love that he basically is I think the best anti-hero in comic history, and I like how at least from what I get, he admits that he's not perfect, and I just love the Watchmen comic because I love how what his motive is, like how they don't shy away from like my parents were killed. No, his mom was a whore who abused him. And I like how in the end of the comics, he basically isn't one of those heroes where it's like, I can save the world. He basically admits, fuck it, kill me.
Yeah, he does.
And I always like how he wasn't one of those heroes that, I like Night Owl, but I love the contrast between him and Night Owl, honestly. But I love how he isn't one of those heroes like, Super Hitman or Batman, for example, that always look at Batman not so much, but they always look for the bright side and are always optimistic. While Rorschach at points will admit what it is and not try to shy away from it. Flash,
He's a tragic character.
Flash, I just love Barry Allen in general. I just love the Flash. I don't feel like, oh, well, all he does is run fast. Well, all you do is can die. But, I just love the Flash so much. I really don't know how to explain the Flash that much. I mean, we talked about the Flash so much on this thing already.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't think of this. I definitely know who my favorite character is.
Jeez.
God.
Oh, go ahead. No, this is your last shot.
Ultimate Warrior.
Oh.
Is that? No, hold up. Is that what you interrupted me about?
Yeah.
And this is why you're on the bottom.
Steven, who is your favorite comic book
First of all, I'd like to apologize to Carol because for some reason I thought we were talking about least favorite comic book characters.
No, we're talking about favorite.
So, I know. I that's why I went, oh. And,
Alright, go ahead.
But, Nightwing. There we go, yeah.
Okay, cool. Second favorite.
Faggot.
Excuse me. I like Nightwing because he was, along with Kid Flash, aka Wally, and,
I'm just going from the bundle of 6. Okay.
huh?
Go on.
And Aqualad, but that didn't turn out too well for him. And to a lesser extent, they were the original sidekicks who were around for years, and their characters actually progressed to the point where they could become their own characters or take up the mantles of their successors. And I think Nightwing was the best of them because he wasn't just Batman number 2 until he became Batman number 2. He chose his own path because he had disagreements with Batman, and I just like the way that before the New 52, and to a certain extent during Forever Evil, he might not be the best superhero, he might not be the most powerful or whatever, but he is someone that if something happens to him, everybody in that universe will be like, what the fuck are you doing? And they will come to help him. And so in that extent, just like Superman, he is a cornerstone of the universe, just in a different way. He's like the heart, and the heart is a powerful thing.
How do you?
He's the architect.
How do you feel knowing that Nightwing originally was Superman?
See, the thing about that is that never happened because only nerds like you remember.
Wait, what?
A long time ago, before Nightwing was even a concept, it was even a concept. At least Dick Grayson Nightwing. Superman went under a different name. Nightwing. He had a partner actually, and they retconned that pretty soon. And Steven's right because of what I am. I'm the only one who remembers that.
Yeah, you're a fucking nerd.
Some Superman sometimes are moonlighters as a superhero in Kandor called Nightwing. But yeah, nobody else knows that. But now people do. So you're nerds like us. I'm Greg.
All right. I'll pick my favorite comic book character.
Let me guess.
Oh god.
Is it Clayface?
It's King Shark, isn't it? It's King
Who did
Shark.
you even say for your least favorite?
It was Thor. Was my least
Okay.
favorite. My favorite comic book character is Harley Quinn,
Vroom, vroom.
and for a multitude of reasons. Not just personal reasons, and because of the comic book itself. The character has always. Alright, what? She was introduced in the TV show, became a phenomenon, got her own miniseries, and then just. God, there's so much merchandise. So much merchandise. She has her own comic. She's had 2 different series. She's. Mad Love is considered the best episode of the Batman animated series. They made a comic book based off of it. She's a tragic character who has a lot of deep backstory and emotion. All she wants to do is just have a place to fit in. Yeah, everybody always goes to the whole, well, she's Joker's girl and this and that. But if you really look at the character, she's a tragic flaw. It's what she is. All she wants to do is she wants to just fit in. She just wants to have a place. She wants to have a purpose. And every time she does it, whether she gets to the point of what she wants to or whether she fails, she always goes out knowing that at least she tried, but she'll do better next time, and she'll be happy about it. She doesn't go and mope about it. And yeah, there's a major personal connection with the character that I've had in personal life, and I won't go into that here. But that's her whole point, is she just wants to be noticed.
I can't wait for Madonna to play the character as the Joker's daughter in Batman Triumphant.
I'm having a moment here.
He's about to just cry down here, nigga. You want to make jokes.
Well, you know. That's what I am.
There's so much deep emotion that goes into her character. All she wanted to do was help people because she couldn't always help herself. So she thought, well, if I can't do it for me, I can help others. And then, of course, Joker, fucked with her mind, and she went back into the state that she used to be. But it's actually started to help her psyche more than it hurt her psyche when she was a therapist. And she's had issues with Joker all the time, and I don't all care much for what they've done to her, the New 52, because they took away her biggest issue, which was her tragic flaw of her trying to fit in. Now she fits in. Now she's everywhere. Now she's pretty much the Deadpool of DC Comics. They took away the only thing that made her relevant, which was her tragic flaw. And without that, she's become a blank slate. And that's the saddest part about it, is that she finally got to fit in, but it's not the way that she wanted it.
We would like to issue a 10-gun salute for the demise of Harley Quinn and Adam's love.
Now, I'm going to take a second, so...
He's about to cry.
Oh, great, and I made a Madonna joke.
Take aim.
Okay, so we'll move on to the last topic. Well,
That wasn't the last topic?
no, we have one final topic, which is going to be, why do we love comics?
Ooh.
So I don't have to look at your face. Goodbye.
So, what about comic books and this whole universe of comics, whether it be DC, Dark Horse, Vertigo, Valiant, Marvel? Why do we always go back to comics? What about it makes us happy that when we read a comic, when we watch a movie or a TV show, just to sit back and be like, yeah, I can deal with this? Well, I try to compose myself. I'll let Stephen go first.
Whoa.
Well, for me, it's pretty simple. Okay, maybe it's not so simple. Right.
It's simple for me. Okay, tough.
God, I just had my idea and you ruined it. Dang it.
Go then. Go.
Thank you. The thing I like about comics is the fact that, it's a different world that's not this world. I know this may sound nerdy or escapist or whatever, but I like the fact that it's so different from this one, and you can read it and just escape the fact that it's just kind of a bit boring place. You can read stuff about other people that are doing all this fantastic crap and having these fantastic adventures, and you're like, okay, that's cool. I can like these characters, I can like their adventures, and I can forget what bad day I have, or the boring assignment I've got to do, or whatever it is, and you could just lose yourself in that for an hour or 2 hours, or however long the comic is or the movie is, and then you come back and it's like, all right, that was cool. Now back to boring shit. But I'm sure there's another reason, but I can't think of it at the moment. So move on to
We'll go with Carroll.
Well, you just gave my reasoning, so mulligan.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
So, you're not going to explain more?
He gave my explanation.
Yeah, but is there anything else you want to add to it?
Like I said, I don't have to look at your people's face while I'm reading, so there's one reason.
Oh, sure. Andrew.
I think it's a way of escaping from real life, and I know Stephen said that, but it's true, and I think it's also a fact that most of us at least started getting into some aspect of comics or superheroes at a young age, and for the most part, it's really stuck with us, and it's really not something that you lose over time. It kind of sticks with you. And the difference between something like this compared to just like a movie franchise or a TV show is that there's always a bunch of stories to go to. You're never going to really run out because there's so much decades worth of stories that you can go to from multiple different characters. And it's something that I can say that you probably will get more invested into as you get older rather than lose interest in. And it's just a way of, finding entertainment and like reading about all this cool shit. And I've always really liked it. And more recently I've been trying to get into the actual comics themselves, because up until like a few years ago I wasn't really into the books, I was just more into the shows and the movies. But I've been trying to change that, and I'm hoping eventually that I can actually get fully invested into the comics themselves as well.
Now that I've composed myself.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, we all pretty much make it clear. It's escapism. It's comic books to a lot of people have become the modern day myths. The modern day Greek mythology, Norse mythology. They're all myths. It's a character that you just want to read about because there's some kind of appeal. Something catches you by the eye. You say, yeah, that looks awesome. I'm going to read that. While there's terrible shit going on in the world around you, you can sit down and enter a different world that's just... There's always a hero in it. There's always something good at the end. Or maybe not always good at the end, but sometimes you need that. It's a way for people to either... Some people use it as a coping mechanism for when somebody dies, or if something bad happened in their life, or if they really don't have much else going for them. Some people use it as a way to get inspired to do more. Whether it be writing a comic book themselves or going for a job interview to become a lawyer or some shit. Comics are so simple, but they're so broad. The stories are written to a point where it honestly does feel like an actual novel, like a book. Because so many people put comic books on such a small level that they don't consider them to be a novel. They don't consider them to be real literature. But they do.
I think that's another reason why I really like comics a lot. It's because it's like, for the longest time, they haven't really gotten respect. And it's just something that you want to stick up for.
It's like nobody cares that their people put hard work and time and effort into making these stories that people will always get. Say there's a story you just don't connect with, but the next one you could connect with. And the characters, they'll stay with you because you remember, because you've been so invested into it, and you'll always remember it, and then you use it, and then it grows with you, and it starts to become part of your psyche. Comics are a way for people to just let loose and enjoy something else for a little bit while everything behind them goes at 1,000,000 miles an hour. You can just go in slow motion and read about your favorite superhero doing God knows what in a mythical universe, and just enjoy it and say, yeah, everything's going to be okay. Not everything is terrible.
Yeah. I agree with what you said about myths, and I think in, say, 500 years or something, characters like Superman, however much you might not like him, and Batman, Spider-Man, or whatever, will be to them like I don't know what Hercules and Achilles and friggin' Thor, whatever Zeus, yeah, whatever else. They'll be, the myth of their time, and they'll make stories, they'll make new stories, and they'll enjoy it as well.
I mean, people when they have kids, sometimes will raise them up and be like, "Oh, look, that's Batman,"
I'm naming my kid Damien.
It's like
No, yeah.
it becomes so.
Now?
Don't tell me what I can't name my fucking kid.
We're having a moment here.
You're
It
ruined.
becomes so your psyche. It's
No, I'm gonna name him Barry.
I think we're gonna end this on the note that we have it. So
It's the jocks coming to person lockers apparently.
Yeah.
That was the season finale of Different Panels.
We'll be back in 10 years' time.
That's
So,
what it felt like. Felt like we were
so-
ending the fucking show.
So for myself and Andrew, Carol, and Stephen,
Also,
join us again next week. Same bat time, same bat place.
Spiderweb is sticky.
Yeah, but I might name one of my kids Damien, but one of my kids might also be named Barry.
One of your kids might get shoved into a locker.